Today I'm going to be showing you on how to do these cool text animation titles for your edits. Before we start, we're going to need to use two plugins, Text Evo 2 and Bouncer. So first you want to start with a composition of your choice. For me, I'm going to be using 1080 by 720 and 24 fps, so those are my main settings, and press OK. Then you want to add a text layer. To do this, I right click over here, click on new, and then text. Type the text that I want to type. After that, you want to center your text, and then after you position your text to your liking, we're going to be using Text Evo. Select your text layer, make sure your text layer is selected, click on the plus sign for Text Evo, then after that, you'll see these two keyframes. Then, if you go up, you'll see these controls. We're going to go to transform, and then we're going to choose position, since this is how we're going to move the text. Now, I want to move my text to the left, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on position X, and slide it to the left. And then it will play it, it will look like this. Looks a little ugly, but we can fix that. If you see here, these are two keyframes. I'm going to graph these keyframes. What I do is I do my graph in Flow, but if you don't have Flow, you can also highlight both keyframes and go to the graph editor and do your graph here. After doing your graph, it should look like this. After doing so, you want to select your text layer and then go on top to the rectangle tool. If your rectangle tool isn't rectangle, you want to press Q multiple times until you see the rectangle tool. Then go back to your text in the composition, and then you want to mask out the text like so, like a little box. Then after that, once you play it, it will look like this. After that, what you want to do is you want to pre-compose your text. By right clicking on the text layer and then click on pre-compose, make sure you have move all attributes selected and adjust selected. And also you can rename to whatever you want. And then after that, what I do is I go to where I want my text to end, and then I split it. After deleting the access, I duplicate my text layer, right click on the top layer, time, and reverse image layer. What this does is this reverses the animation. And then I'm going to slide the text animation until the animation starts to start, and then cut it like so, and right after that you should get something like this. Then what you want to do is pre-compose those two layers. After that, you want to add an effect called posterize time. Change the frame rate to around 10 or 8, I'm going to do 8, and then you should get something like this. What I do is I add an effect called linear wipe, and after adding that, you want to change your transition completion to around 50, and then you want to change the wipe angle to 0. After that, you want to duplicate your text layer and then change the wipe angle to 180. Then move the text layer forwards just a little bit. And if you play, you'll get something like this. To give my text animation some more life, I'm going to add a PNG, and this is where Bouncer comes in. So first what you want to do is you want to position your PNG to however you want it. Then after doing your positioning, you want to zoom in your interface by using the mountain slider at the bottom here. And then after that, you want to add a keyframe on whatever control you want to use. So I'm going to be using position again. So I press P on my keyboard, add a keyframe, go a few frames forward, and then add a keyframe again. And then go to the beginning keyframe, and then I move it to the right to give it that nice little right motion. And then what I do is I highlight both keyframes, go to Bouncer, and select that option that you're using. So for me, I'm using position, and then stay on overshoot plus, and then click on bounce it. And you should get something like this. If the animation is too rough, you can always adjust it by these settings on top of here. After doing the same process with your other PNGs, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move my PNGs below the text layer. So now it will look like this. Let's spice this up a little. First, I'm going to select one of the text layers and add something called drop shadow. I'm going to do my distance at 0, and then I'm going to turn up the softness by around 50. After that, I'm going to pre-compose the PNG layers, and then I'm going to add posterize time on that as well. It should look like this. After that, what I do is I pre-compose all of my layers, duplicate the layer, add deep glow, And then my settings are 0.05 and my radius is 500. You should get this nice simple glow. If you want to add more spice, you can add an adjustment layer, and then you can add something called posterize. And that is how you make a cool text animation title for your edits. I'm out and all the time.